doing tonight. My name is Tal Beery, and I adapted the script that's in your hands from my grandmother's World War II memoirs. She wrote them in she wrote them in 1949 when she was 19 years old, about 4 years after the war ended. The memoirs consist of 200 handwritten pages of rhyming Polish verse. She sent a photocopied version of this text a few years ago, just before she died, and strangely this is the only version that exists, because shortly after she died, every last remaining item of hers was trucked off to a landfill, never to be seen again. So in some sense, what you have in your hands is some permutation of the only thing that remains of her, for me. You see, we were estranged, and no one in my family knew that she was dead until about a year after she died. So no one collected her things, and the neighbors got antsy. And my grandmother was a bit psychotic, possibly because of severe trauma she experienced as a young person during the war. And I don't know though, maybe she was just psychotic to begin with. And over my life, she had many different versions of her Holocaust story. Each one was different, so she would just tell me all these different versions, and she told my mother many different versions as well. And when I finally decided to have this text translated, I was sure that this was the truth. I was going to get my hands on something true, and I was really excited to finally have it, the real version of events, Well, anyway, this is a play I put together with some parts of that text. So just so you all know, the actors and I have read through this script a number of times, but the script keeps changing. So the version that you're seeing is they're seeing this version for the first time, just like you, okay? I'm gonna avoid reading stage directions when possible. And as we go through it, if something on the stage or in the script doesn't seem to be working for you, please, really, feel free to raise your hand and let us know what you think. I'll be paying attention, and so I'll be on the lookout, basically. And if you have something, just raise your hand, let me know. I'll stop at an appropriate time. I'm not going to stop just at any time. I'm going to stop at an appropriate time, and we'll just stop. We'll hear what you have to say. There'll be a mic that can be passed around, and so we have about 30 minutes for this, and we'll see how it goes. Okay? All right, everybody. All right, good. So, right. Scene. Mary's family's home and barn in Leibovitz, eastern Poland, near the Ukrainian border. It's mid-November. Inside the white-painted wooden exterior, the cozy rural home is busy with pots and pans, chairs and tables, jars and knickknacks. An image of the Virgin Mary displays prominently on a wall. To the left, a small path leads behind the house to their barn, which is full of hay for the family's livestock. Additional hay is stored and dried in the barn's hay loft. Chaya has a bullet in her left calf and is badly wounded. She limps over to the home and stands near the door. She's in pain. She waits. She sits, then she stands. Then she waits. Mary walks over to the house, carrying a backpack, clearly coming home after school.
Look, I cannot go on living anymore. I'm wounded everywhere. So I just wish for one thing, because I have many injuries. ask your father to give me a bullet to my head so this can end, so that I do not have to suffer anymore. Have you gone, crazy? Where do you want me to go?
Stand here in this barn, but do not you move from this spot, because I will feed you. Nobody will see you here. You will live and you will not lose your head. Jesus and I will help you, but for now you stay in the barn.
I will not live anyway, and I prefer that. I want to rip my lips and kill my soul. There is a bullet in me. Soon I will be dead. In my forehead I have 2 holes. And you see there is plenty of hair in the hole, and the hair eats my blood. You cannot imagine how much it hurts me.
I want you to believe me, that I want you to live and still be my friend.
Tell me how I look. Do I look acceptable or rotten? Because I have not washed up for 2 months, and I have not brushed my hair, and I did not see a mirror. Oh, please, tell me.
Listen, you look terrible. You have a face that is red and black. You have eyes as if they were covered with some hue that is visible on your forehead and up from your nose. And where did you stick your hair and for what? Did you not have any other means of rescue? And those black braids, have you gone mad? You look like a skeleton, but I want you to not be afraid again. So rest now. I will fetch some things from the house. I will be back very soon.
Mary enters with a plate of cookies in one hand and scissors in another. She holds a comb under her arm.
It seems to me that naturally the most important is that I wash your wounds with alcohol, diligently and all around. All the hair you have put in, and the blood you have already poured out. So I will take scissors in my hands, and I shall cut everything slowly, so that you do not worry. I hope that I am doing it lightly, that you won't even feel it.
Enough. I've had enough for today.
All right, but now we must get to the hair. There is no other way. We will brush it out right away. We will clean out all the lice so none will squeak. Then you will feel better, almost heavenly. We will finish quickly, so to see you clean will be to forgive you everything. And when you look in the mirror, then you will begin to understand that it would be a pity to die.
All right. Begin.
You know, here, something is sitting inside, is stuck. Her hair is like tar, or olive, or moldered paste. How long have you not washed your hair?
Maybe about 3 months, more or less. I myself do not remember because I had other pains than that of hair.
Oh. How have you lived these 3 months? Where were you? What did you live off of?
You know, Marika, we won't talk right now until we finish with this. I think that many times you will sit here by me and I will tell you stories.
1 second. Just pause a second. Yeah. That's Jenny, by the way, guys. She has the mics.
Liel?
Yeah, thank you. Hi.
Hi, thank you all so much for this. I have a question, and it's directed towards the actors. You know, just watching this and seeing you sitting behind them, I'm curious to know if that's an intentional choice to be sitting behind them, and sort of for the actors, how that makes you feel with him sitting and kind of viewing you in this way.
I mean, it does have this kind of like Trump and Hillary kind of thing.
Yeah, that's...
I guess I wanted to sit here because I wanted to kind of look at the audience. But I think you're probably right. I'm gonna sit over there, okay? I'm just thinking about it now, like how it must look. Okay, so I'm gonna all right. Okay, so I'm gonna sit here, and if I'll just try to get wave your hand or something.
You have another question?
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
It's more of a comment.
Yeah.
I thought you were over there. I didn't see you.
Well, look at that. You guys are so good. You see, they weren't even paying attention to me. All right, well, thank you. And I guess, I'm wearing all black. I was trying to kind of blend in with the background.
Copycat.
All right, yeah. Go ahead. We are now at, they get back to brushing, but the hair is so tangled that there was no way for them to manage to put in the comb. Mary says,
You know what I would give now to cut off your braids?
No!
pause. Careful, you're really on the edge of the hayloft. So
I'm also this tall.
you're smaller. Yes, you're smaller.
It's
Yeah.
not that.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
No? I have had them for 12 years now. I will not allow them to be cut off. Now? Do you not know what they mean to me when I look at them? My mother stands by me and she's putting in ribbons. They were always dear to me and always beloved. You know, in my childhood, when mother demanded something of me and I disobeyed her, she would threaten me, telling me that she would cut off my braids. I was very scared, and I would do everything that she wanted. And I still remember when we sat by the table and when we would eat, I would sit on my braids. And in this manner, I would eat that nobody would cut them off. They're so important to me. Oh, how I would like for them to stay because of what they remind me. If they are gone, I would have to forget those and never think about them. Because what I have lost, I will never see again. I won't even see the tombs because none of them lay in a grave. Instead, they're alive and fresh. They're burned down. And those were my closest ones that I loved, and they loved me. And they left nothing. All of them burned down. I have nothing to remember them by. I was not told to do anything at all. We were all together in a train car. We were riding. We were not even holding hands because they did not let us stand together. Because they packed 300 people in one car. I did not know even when I jumped off the car, I saw mother or I saw my oldest sister who stood by me. I had told them nothing. I just stood on the car and I jumped. I have never seen again anyone anymore, just blood, blood, and blood, and blood. I lay in blood, neither heaven or earth. I saw when I got up, I did not think, but took off somewhere. And then when I wanted to look for something, I did not find anything, just the braids. I was plugging the blood with the braids. I tied up my head with the braids. And when I looked at the braids, against my will, I got some kind of strength and some consolation.
Chaya, in one last courageous attempt, takes the comb into her hands and begins to brush. But her head now starts to hurt terribly, and she tangles up her hair even more. She gets really tired and throws the comb across the room. Oh, sorry, yeah.
is that really the family that you knew that was, sibling-wise? And
What do you mean?
when she talks about her family in the train.
Yeah, that's the story we always knew, the story of her jumping off the train. She told me so many stories. She told me one time that she jumped off the train with her baby sister, who was just an infant, and that the infant caught the bullet that was meant for her, and that's how they thought she was dead, because the baby was under her belly. The story she also used to tell was that her mom pushed her out of the train window. I don't know. I don't know what, yeah.
Well, I guess my question is, in reading this, if there are nuggets that you remember and that kind of anchor you when you read it to believe it, I don't know, just, think, like whenever I hear, I have new questions.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I had the same question. As usual.
I don't know if I answered that, but maybe we'll just, yeah. Okay. We'll see if, did that answer that question? Did I misunderstand something? No? Yeah.
Did she
Okay.
have a younger sister? Like, do you know if she had a younger sister?
I don't know. I don't really know the ages of her siblings. They kept changing, it seemed. I think she had a few siblings. Do you know?
She was a middle child.
She was a middle child. Okay. So, she lies down and falls asleep. Lights dim. Mary enters and sits next to Chaya and watches her sleep. Lights up.
Have you been sitting here long?
Half an hour I'm sitting here. I was afraid that I would bother you. How lovely you are. The merciful Holy Mary sent me to you and helped you not to suffer and to die. From the first grade on, together we sat. We whispered answers to one another when one of us didn't know something. And later together, always, we walked from school. We'd certainly still be studying together if this had not happened. You broke the comb already? You think something will come about from this pulling? In any case, what use are they anyway? Just work and a headache. This is not for the time, so much care and work. Hear out my suggestion again. I am not afraid that you will get angry. When I am looking at you, I see a little girl, an altogether natural one. You do not have a long nose. What makes you different is your black hair and your bare feet. After all, your eyes are blue. Your complexion is not dark. When you accentuate Polish like a Pole, what makes you different? You are an unusual Pole only because Poles are usually blonde and not brunettes. You understand the difference. If you want a hairstyle like mine, we can take care of it right away. This will be the most convenient and you will be free. Short hair and bangs is the healthiest style. You have nothing to regret because nothing could transform your braids into freshness or cleanliness. My aunt, who is known for her good taste, became a blonde one day. When I asked my mom how she did that, Mother told me that she would bleach herself. I do not know what that is, but surely it is a fact that it is successful because it is tested out by my aunt. So if you like, I will go to her right away and I will tell her that I have been thinking for a long time how she became such a beautiful blonde.
All right. Actually, why do I care? I cannot leave from here anyway. Tell me, dear, how long can this go on? A Jew cannot live.
I will now go, And in a moment, I will be back. I will thoroughly find out everything. Like with war, it seems to me. Either I win or I perish.
Chaya lies down without covering herself with anything, just lost in thought. She falls asleep and lights dim. Chaya begins to shiver, and slowly she begins to shake. Lights up. Mary walks in.
Why are you so white? Why are you shivering? What is happening to you, darling? Oh God, salvation! Here. Have some water. You are safe here. Open your lips. Oh God.
Mariska, why are you crying? Have you been sitting with me for long?
You do not know what was happening to you, and it worried me so much. Oh, thank God nothing happened to you. I think God was praying with me.
You know, at this point I feel so bad. I do not know anything from anything. Now to the point. What did you find at your aunt's?
Yes, my dear. Your freedom is near. I got everything from her. Rather, I took myself whatever I needed.
That's an extraordinary idea. Give me your hands. We will say right away and everywhere and always, we will live together and never leave each other.
I will not forget these words, because I will always be with you. You are so interesting to me. You are alive and dead for me. You are a wonderful secret for me. It's enough for my eyes to speak and for the hands to do. Listen, my dear. I will say to my mother that because I do not have a brother or a sister, someone will be together with us. And this will bring me joy. Mother will like it too. I tell you that you will one day be in our house. Oh, this is not a fantasy. This is close to the truth. Oh, what joy to be with one another. And when we'll be alone, what stories are we going to tell each other and what mischief are we going to be up to? And when Father comes, then he will talk joyfully. We will be singing and talk about different things and dance.
Stop it. Somehow it is not consoling to me. I do not feel like dancing. And that I have to be in your father's company gives me a headache. But we will see.
True. We are talking about these things, but actually, we do not know anything. What we must do first to free ourselves, perhaps, is to start with a hair. And here, what I have in these packets must all be mixed. There is peroxide in the bottle. This is worth more than holy water.
Will I remain the blonde forever? I do not know if that makes a difference to me. I'm just so used to it because I remember myself black. And this is like a fairy tale. And it makes me curious. Because for no work, I will change so fatally. And black I will make white. Maybe God himself thought of it. One can buy their life back with it. Because
Why are we talking? Let us try it out. But now it is necessary, undeniably, to cut off the braids. Because the bleach won't be enough, so we are starting with the scissors. We can cut them braided. I will save them for you. Oh, here I have scissors. All doors are closed. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got one ready. And 1, 2, 3. See? Talking so much was a waste of time. The business is done. Actually, not entirely. Everything will happen in a moment. You will have bangs. Nobody?
Pause a second, yeah. Thank you guys. You guys are going really great. Thank you.
Hey, sorry to interrupt.
No, that's great. Yeah.
Tal, can you talk a little bit, I'm just curious about this process.
Yeah.
You know, like, is this, you know, like when you talked to me before about this relationship with your grandma, I felt so conflicted, and I'm curious about what going through this was like for you. Is it something that makes you feel closer to some ideal version of her, or you feel like you're creating her in a way that somehow is like a salve on you know, for unanswered questions or other kinds of traumas or damage that is already there? I'm just, you know, watching this, I can't help but wonder sort of what being in the rehearsals for this or being here right now, sort of what this puts you through.
Yeah, I guess it's been really, really hard process for me because, like I said, I think in the beginning, like I was really hoping that this would be the story, but I don't know if it is. The whole 200 pages. Out of 200 pages, 150 of them are dialogue between Mary and Chaya, and none of us in our family, we've heard her story so many times, none of us have ever heard of a Mary, ever once, right? So maybe it's the Virgin Mary, maybe it's just a figment of her imagination, I don't know. And so I read this thing and I'm just like, every time Mary comes up, I'm just like, who the hell? And you know, for a while, when I read it, when I was reading it at first, I would cry so much thinking of just the fact that there's this Mary out there somewhere, maybe in Poland still, maybe she has descendants, maybe I should reach out to her. Did she save my grandmother? Is this the reason why I'm alive? Like, this girl? And then 200 pages goes by, and it's her memoirs, but it's only 5 days out of 3 years, you know, and I'm actually more angry at what she wrote. I feel like she was trying to be stylistic. You know, maybe there's some like kind of like maybe like underneath the surface there's truth here, but like there's nothing like concrete that I can count on. Yeah. Can you pass her the mic?
No, give it back to Jenny.
Who had the hand up?
So who hid your grandmother?
We have no idea. The story.
Who did she? I mean, how did she say she survived for those 3 years?
Yeah. So one story that I have, the one that I kind of like, the one that I tell myself, and I think maybe for my family, it's each one of us, we have a different story. But the one that I would tell myself is that she jumped off this train, she made it back to her village, to her house, to an attic where she stayed for a full year or two, like a mouse in her attic, while Polish soldiers were in her village. She would steal food from the pig, and then like at some summer day, she decided that she was well enough to like go out. She found a Polish farmer and his wife, and she hid in their barn and pretended, like worked for them basically, like pretended that she was Christian, and he would rape her for a full year, basically every night. That's the story that I know, but it's not the real story, right? So yeah, I'm very conflicted about this story that's being presented here, just obviously. Jesus, okay. We're gonna get, before you, Roni, you already asked one. Yeah.
Have you ever?
1 second, yeah, we just, because I think there's a camera, so.
Have you ever thought about presenting it as a play with lots of different possible stories? Not like a choose your own adventure, but you know what I mean? Like sort of like it could be this, and then like it could be this, and it could be really beautiful.
Yeah, that could be.
To give voice to all those stories. I mean, just it sounds to me, like I know you're trying to figure out if she's psychotic or what, but like it sounds to me, being a psychologist, like there's so much trauma there, but there is also a lot of like creative exploration around it, and that parts of it are true, but whatever's, like with all stories, you know, does it really matter what exactly is true, but they're all true in her mind. I think it's actually, they're really beautiful that she's created all these stories, and it would be beautiful to find a way to make them all, not all, but some of them live, you know, more than just one.
I mean, it's true. And I think we're just that's the last move right now. I know there were a few other hands, but we're just gonna keep going for a little bit. I just wanted to say that, like, it's true, everyone has their own truth, but I lost her whole family. And I feel a little bit like I don't have anything concrete to stand on, you know? And so I think a little bit about how, I want to think that this is just some I want to do like a psychological profile of her, you know? But it's like really, to me, it's like not enough. All right, but you're gonna keep going, okay? Everything will happen and you will have bangs. Maybe we could take it from 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And thank you guys, you're doing great.
One, 2, 3, 4. We've got 1 ready, and 1, 2, 3. See? Talking so much was a waste of time. The business is done. Actually, not entirely. Everything will happen in a moment, and you will have bangs. Nobody will find you out, because whatever lives on inside you is normal. You will not look like a Jew at all, and you will learn the prayers, even the church songs and daily life. I will teach you everything, and in a few minutes, everything will be ready and new. The bags are wonderful! I swear, they cover up your wound, particularly for you. Long hair was not for the times. Please do not cry or regret, just look at me. You are even more pretty and more beautiful because your eyes are unique and willing. Their color is wonderful, kind of gray and green. And your chin is so sharp. And your forehead is tall and straight. And your brows are long and thin. And eyelashes black and beautiful. You will live on. You will turn boys' heads. And get ready fast. Now, we will really see a miracle. We first need to have it all mixed well. It says chlorine here, this is peroxide, and this, I cannot read any of this. What is this? I do not know. Let's pour everything into this bottle and mix it well, and then take some cotton and rub it well. Just sit quietly and do not bother me, or I could spill this.
Oh, he's starved and I'll talk so much. My head is getting cold. White?
No.
What?
Black.
What is it? What do you see? Is anything happening? Mariska, dearest, what happened? What hurt you?
Oh, what bastards, such liars and scoundrels. I believed her, that parasite. She lied to me. I have poured out the entire bottle, and God has punished me, oh me. What have I done? What have I done? Everything is as if dead. So all right, you will be sitting here, and you will suffer until the war ends.
The war will surely end shortly. And I have an impression, because all these dead souls must know how to do something. They will persuade God that people have suffered enough, and there is enough revenge.
Quiet! Do not hurt the heart. What do I see on you? I swear. It is clear. Beautiful and flowery. You have bright hair, darling. Oh, you are magical. Something happened at
I
last.
do not believe. Show me. Oh, how will we? Where is the mirror? Quickly, or I will bite your nose. Marisa, what do you say? Oh, it is so decent. Oh, how nicely bleached. Why are you so stiff and shy? Because now you're more disappointed. And you get everything that you wanted.
I'm bewitched. I'm not alone. Oh, Mama. Now to the point. You know what makes you uglier?
What I'm wearing?
Yeah, pause for a second. There was one, thank you. There was one. Yeah, go ahead. Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks. I have a question about the language, like the process of translating this. How much has that added like another layer of uncertainty, or do you feel?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like 200 handwritten pages of Polish, rhyming Polish verse. Poorly photocopied. That's all that's left. A lot of lines are lost. Some pages are lost. Not only what the translation was rugged for sure, and needed to go through another, would probably need to go through another round of edits. I edited it myself, not knowing.
Do you speak Polish?
What's that?
Do you speak Polish yourself?
No. And not at all. No, I hired somebody with the LABA Fellowship to, who was wonderful. But it takes, look, it's a poem. It's 200 pages of a poem. And something about how clumsy this text feels a little bit in English is beautiful to me, really beautiful to me. But a lot of this text I made up myself. Not made up, I was like, she probably meant that, and Mary probably said that, and I'm gonna move things around like this. Yeah. Do you have the mic? Where's the mic? Jenny, we got a mic on the other side of the. But yeah, just to be clear, that's the situation. Is I would love to have presented just her text. And I've been frustrated by the process of translating and creating, yeah.
I think the translation is beautiful, and I just wanted to say I think that the play is beautiful, and I'm kind of sitting here with the house lights on, and we all have scripts, and I'm just kind of wondering why couldn't we just watch this play? Why can't we just watch this beautiful play that these two actors are doing so beautifully, but with watching the first time they've read it, and it's sort of and this is your grandmother's play that she wrote. So I guess I'm just sort of why is it now turned into this thing that's kind of I don't know, I guess I would have rather maybe seen just the play, and maybe not why it's sort of about, this is about you more than about your grandmother and her
And you
mom.
feel if you saw just the play with lights and everything, you feel you would have seen my grandmother? Yeah. Is that what you think? Well, then that's a lie. Do you understand? That's a lie. I don't want you to see what I think my grandmother said. I want you to feel how I feel about this freaking text, which is conflicted, which is nothing. I don't feel anything anymore. I hate this text as much as I love it now. And I don't want it, I don't want you to feel happy about this play. You understand? I don't want that. I don't want it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I couldn't disagree more with him. Like this is completely what the whole thing is about. Like this is exactly like this thing alone would be so weird, and I wouldn't know what to make of it. And the fact that you've given us the context that this is the only remaining thing, like I don't know what you're doing with this, or if you're actually looking for edits, or if this is all part of the deal. But like I would encourage you to put yourself into this thing because it's the only way it makes sense. And like the thing you said about being really pissed at your grandma for being artsy as a 19-year-old and writing this, I love that. Like, it's annoying how artsy she's being. Like, you just want to know what the hell happened. And I feel like that would be like the most interesting thing you can like develop out of this, personally. It's like super annoying how artsy she's being.
Well, I'm glad there's some controversy. But can we just hold off on the last question for a moment? Can we hold off? No, okay. It's my sister, No, let her.
Hi, everybody. You know, I love you, but you can't take this away from me. Like, I haven't seen this yet, and I'm so grateful that you translated it. To me, I mean, this is more truth than I'll get. I mean, this is seeing her, and you're an artist, Tal, you know, I mean, you're making art right now. This is like us seeing you, and you had to do it this way for us to see you, and this is how she did it for us to see her, and for her to see her. So, yeah, I couldn't disagree with you more.
I love you, Shira. Okay, let's take it home. Let's take it from now to the point. You know what makes you uglier?
Now to the point. Do you know what makes you uglier?
What I'm wearing?
No.
That I'm ragged?
No.
That I'm not known?
No! That you do not know the prayers. That you must admit.
Poor darling. Everything for you is like a wound without bottom or evening. It is always the same time for your sweet face. You're all alone and a small child. But your mind is mature. Always thinking of something. You are like the faithful river, my one and only Marishka dearest. But your parents will know me. They surely remember me, and when they see me, they will look at me, they will say, "You parasite, you want to play comedy? You want to pretend a Pole? We will slaughter you like the others." I won't even cry, because I am ready. I will tell them my last words. Do not do anything bad to me, because my own death I long for. I like the world, but if I had to live like you, I would commit suicide. To see this, and even take part? You're not even ashamed, and you still believe in God? What are you thinking, that your lives are eternal? Your death will be worse, because it is worse to live and be silent. If one has to remain silent, it is better to stay silent forever.
What we must do first, to free yourself, is to start with the hair.
Lights down. And thank you guys. Thank you.